We're talking about Harry and Taylor this week because I'm a woman of the people. Full disclosure, I have been drinking. I did go to a trivia night. I did not win, but I did win American Idol Wii when I got home. So, there you go. As always, I know that I'm not the first, nor will I be the last to talk about Harry and Taylor. I know that Claire Not Danes did a series on this on here. I know because my roommate has seen it. I'm sure there's plenty of others as well. But I like to do my own research and I like to chat, so here we go. Also, I do feel that I needed to give a disclaimer because Swifties and Harry fans are a completely different breed. I love both of them. I went to this completely with no slant, no bias, but I'm taking from news sources and tabloids that might have a slant or bias. We're going to see a lot of different opinions. We are even going to go into conspiracies. So, that being said, these are not my own views necessarily. It's what I'm seeing online, okay? People speculate on what my stance is on a lot of these topics, which I'm totally fine with, and I do occasionally give my opinion. But most of the time, I'm just relaying what has been reported in an entertaining way with jokes. Okay? Let's move on. Starting out strong with the birth charts. Miss Swift over here, Miss Blondie, we love her, we know her, we love her, we love her. She has a Sagittarius Sun, a Cancer Moon, a Scorpio Rising, a Capricorn Mercury, an Aquarius Venus, and a Scorpio Mars. That Cancer Moon, that Scorpio Mars, it's telling us everything we need to know about her songwriting, about her as a person, about why I relate so hard to every single one of her songs, even when the situation has not presented itself in my own life. Because I'm also a Scorpio Mars, and I know that one day someone will wrong me, and I will relate very hard to that song, and I'm just preparing. That's all I'm doing. Harry is an Aquarius Sun, a Libra Moon, a Libra Rising, an Aquarius Mercury, an Aquarius Venus, an Aquarius Mars. All air. So long, farewell, I cannot do that. On the other hand, I have never seen a better embodiment of Aquarius and Libra energy. Obviously, the man is beautiful and creative and beautiful. So our story starts in 2011-2012. Here's a emblematic photo of Harry from that time, which I thought was honestly hilarious when I found it on Google. And supposedly Harry was the one who was first interested and was kind of like pining after Taylor, honestly. But of course, this was not known to us because celebrities can and do keep things quiet. And when they decide to tell us who they're dating, it is 100% planned out, thought out. They have decided to do that, okay? They can keep things secret just like the rest of us, and in fact, they have entire teams of people to make sure that that happens, so they can really do it better than me and my big mouth. Anyways, a source close to Taylor said that he chased her and wore her down. I love it when boys do that, I truly do. Is that Harry Styles? It's not. It's Michelle Obama. Cute couple? Maybe. But I love Michelle and Barack, and don't you dare say a word against them. This is actually from the March 31st, 2012 Kids' Choice Awards, where she met Michelle Obama. Must be nice. At the time, Taylor was 22 and Harry was 18. To me, that is a huge age gap in terms of life experience. I know, though, that the celebrity world is a little bit different, aka a lot different. I clearly wouldn't know because I'm not a celebrity, but it's just my opinion, okay? And at this awards show, we see Taylor and Selena, best friends at the time, and they are jamming to What Makes You Beautiful, which One Direction is performing live, including Harry Styles. And also Katy Perry has this interesting hair colors, which she is rocking. Let's not even try and lie about that. And who can deny these two? A good dance to a good old-fashioned bop, like What Makes You Beautiful. It was a bop. Don't try to say otherwise. However, after, Taylor allegedly told Justin Bieber that she thought Harry was hot. Honestly, that was a very normal comment to be saying about Harry at the time. Not me, I was deep in an emo phase. Don't worry about me, but most people were saying it. After the show, though, she apparently went backstage and was hanging around by One Direction's dressing room and said a quick hello to the guys, and then was dramatically fanning herself. Like, ooh, so hot, boys. One Direction. But all the sources said that she was very specific with Justin about keeping it hush, that she thought that Harry was attractive. Now, obviously, this could be because she had genuine feelings for Harry. It also could be, though, because she knew that everybody would freak out if they found out that she thought Harry Styles was hot. Even though, again, very normal reaction to his face and name at the time. But she's Taylor Swift, so it's different. But then on April 5th, Justin does an interview, and he has some interesting things to share. And by the way, that interview came out the same day as this photo of him and Selena. the shoes, the off-the-shoulder tee, the circle scarf, the patterned hoodie, the maroon beanie, and I swear to God the caption had something to do with Panera Bread. I'm not kidding. Anyways, Justin said, I already know one of the biggest artists in the world thinks Harry is so hot, but I've been sworn to secrecy. And at the time, of course, there were tons of guesses. And of course, Taylor had to be one of them because she absolutely fits the bill of biggest artist in the world. And now that we know about the backstage of the Kids' Choice Awards, I think it's fair to say that Justin just wanted to have a little gossip with us. But he had to use code words. And thanks for sharing anyways, Justin. I absolutely love that. It is obviously a new day. I am sober. Let me know if you like Drunk Me. What do you think of her? Should she do more of these series versus Sober Me? So anyways, we are now in spring of 2012. This is when they first got together, according to reports that we got after the fact. That's what we've pieced together now. So again, we had no knowledge at the time, but according to that source close to Taylor, her friend or somebody, he apparently was saying to her, "You're amazing. I want to be with you. I want to do this." His green orbs staring into her eyes. However, we do not have specific dates, just spring 2012. That's all we know. But Justin, he wasn't lying. And then April 11th of 2012 is when we got the reports about what happened at the Kids' Choice Awards backstage, when they met, when it seemed like she thought he was hot, when we all realized that there might be a possibility that Taylor Swift and Harry Styles are together. What a couple. And that maybe Taylor's buying some Victoria's Secret for Harry Styles. Aren't we all? A little bit. Just in a way. Not really. I'm sure she's buying this for herself because we're all actually buying lingerie just so we can look at ourselves in the mirror. Be honest with yourselves. So then, April 13th of 2012 was One Direction's first tour date in Australia. So Harry is gone. He's going away to Australia. But before they left, supposedly Harry hinted at making it official with Taylor and also told Taylor he didn't want her to see anybody else while he was gone. So not official, but seeing each other. And I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that Taylor didn't see anybody else while he was gone because, first of all, she's Taylor Swift. Who's got the time to juggle multiple men when you're busy being Taylor Swift and having the time of your life doing that already? But also, I feel like she's a loyal gal. I don't know. I think so. Harry, on the other hand, on April 22nd, we see him kissing Emma Osterley in Australia. I think it might have been New Zealand, but besides the point. He's kissing another girl. And honestly, how classic. If I had $1 for every single time that one partner asked the other to be loyal, but then did not follow through themselves on that, I'd be sad, but I'd also be wealthy. It's classic. It really is. I feel for Taylor on that one. I really do. No hate to Harry. I recognize that he was 18. He's living the life of a rock star. Temptation presents itself. He made a mistake. That doesn't define him. It's just funny, okay? It's funny. As a female who has also had similar situations happen to her, we have to laugh at it. We have to. We cannot just live our lives in anguish, even though it hurts. It does hurt, but we're not going to do that. We're going to laugh. And apparently Harry was texting her and trying to save himself and saying that it was not what it looked like and he was just kissing a friend goodnight. Yada, 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 yada. Obviously, it only took a quick peek at the Daily Mail to recognize that it was, in fact, exactly what it looked like. So, again, classic. So at that point, Taylor did decide to end the relationship, as she should. This is a picture of her from the day afterwards, and this is my content warning for y'all, that there is a lot of 2012 twee ahead, okay? It was her look at the time. It was a lot of our looks at the time. I won't even deny that. And she's rocking it. She is. And with Harry and her relationship done in July of 2012, Taylor is seen with Connor Kennedy. That's when their relationship begins. And during this time, Harry seems to have just been like dating around, basically, from what I saw. On August 30th of 2012, One Direction does a video ahead of the VMAs. This is not from that video. I just thought it was kind of funny that 3 of them decided to put the Barbie doll heads in their mouths, like teething children. They're just hilarious. They really are. They're a hoot. Anyways, they were going through a bunch of past VMA winners and, iconic moments of the VMAs. And the last one, Harry said, was their good friend Taylor Swift. And I'm sure you can picture it when I say that they all seemed a little giggly about him mentioning her. Just a little. They're all so giggly together, and it's the cutest thing. It really is. And in September of 2012, Taylor and Connor Kennedy break up, although we don't figure that out for about another month. And just like that, one door closes and another slides open just a crack to allow Mr. Harry Styles to swoop in. And then September 6th of 2012 is the MTV VMAs, and One Direction is interviewed backstage, and it is just, again, a classic, silly, goofy, guys being friends, giggly interview. So we're at the 2012 VMAs. It's September. One Direction is being interviewed backstage. They were asked about who they were most excited to see, and Niall was just rattling off a list of names, and he said Taylor's name. They then all looked straight at Harry, and then Louis pointed directly at him and said again to him, Taylor Swift? And he said, yeah. And then everybody awkwardly giggled, as they do. And it was said at the time that Harry was hardcore going after Taylor again, pursuing, pining. He was committed to getting her back and was promising to never stray again. A month later, on October 7th, we have the BBC Radio 1 Teen Awards in London, and they are both there again. And supposedly Taylor invited a member of One Direction to a private dinner after the event. I'll let you give your guesses as to who that member was. But last minute, that dinner ended up getting canceled. So, who knows what happened? Maybe he rejected the invitation. Maybe she thought, is it the best idea to have dinner with a hot ex? I don't know. Or their schedules could have just changed, as they would like us to believe literally all the damn time. Their schedules definitely could have just changed, but I'm just saying, it's not always schedules. So who knows? Who knows? 2 days after that, Taylor releases I Knew You Were Trouble. And I think that we all collectively agree now that it probably was about Harry. And I would go into an analysis, but I feel like the title really explains the song perfectly. Is it probably a bad idea? Yes. But he's hot, and he's mysterious, and he's Harry Styles, so why the hell not? Let's go for it anyways. And by the way, here she is on the set of filming the music video. I'm not saying that this man looks like Harry Styles because he doesn't, but I do think that he does bear somewhat of a resemblance in terms of style. A month later, on November 7th of 2012, Taylor is in London and we see her leaving her hotel, obviously because paparazzi is everywhere. She's rocking the 2012 twee, like I said. She's also rocking a paper airplane necklace. And people caught on extremely quickly to this because that's Harry's necklace, okay? It's Harry's necklace. I'm not a big Directioner, so I had to discover this through research just now, but it is. It's his necklace. Also, I replied to this comment just to clarify that all of the stuff we've covered so far was, yes, early 2012, because we have figured out belatedly that they actually were kind of seeing each other in early 2012. We just didn't know it as the public yet. We only really saw this part of the relationship, which we're getting into in this part. So back to the timeline, November 7th of 2012, we see Taylor leaving her hotel. She's wearing that paper airplane necklace that we all know is Harry's. So it looks like his wooing has in fact paid off. I just realized there's been a filter on this the whole time. I was like, I swear I'm not that pale. I mean, I am, but normally I don't look that pale on the screen. So the next day, November 8th, One Direction is on the cover of Cosmopolitan magazine. First male cover ever, by the way. Very interesting choice. And also, the title on it was Cosmo Makes Real Men of One Direction. Is that a euphemism? The Cosmo staff is just up here making men of them. Anyways, in the interview, they asked Harry about his type, and he voluntarily said, there's someone I like, but this girl isn't my type. It's more about the person. And honestly, I found this to be a very risky move for Harry, because I feel like with artists, specifically like boy band members and such, they usually do not talk about whether they like somebody. They're usually told by their publicists to keep completely hush about anybody that they might be interested in, because then the door is left open for fans to, believe that they have a chance with them and fantasize about that. So it is interesting that he decided to go ahead and tell us he has a crush on someone. He also said in this interview, I find ambition really attractive too. If someone's good at something they love doing, I want someone who's driven. That is so weird, because I happen to know a girl who at this time had won 6 Grammys and countless other awards. Are you interested, Harry? And then just a few days later, Harry and Taylor are seen together at the X Factor rehearsals. So on November 15th of 2012, Harry and Taylor are seen at the X Factor rehearsals together. Mario Lopez specifically told us that he saw Harry there and he went up to Harry and was like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And he pointed at Taylor, and then later on he saw them holding hands also. It was also said that they were flirty, not just friendly, and that he picked her up and threw her over his shoulder and carried her off. I mean, that's just straight out of one of y'all's fan fictions. You can't tell me that I'm wrong. Not mine, because my fan fiction wasn't about One Direction, but I know that one of y'all had one. Reveal yourself in the comments. I'd love to read it, honestly. And then just a few days later, Harry was featured in 17 magazine. Shout out to 17 magazine. Huge part of my childhood. Also, I am here and willing whenever y'all are ready to hire me. I'm just sitting back and waiting for the day. Anyways, they obviously asked him about Taylor because they have to do right by their readers. And this is what he said. "She's a really lovely girl. Honestly, she couldn't be a sweeter person. She's a great girl and she's extremely talented." He also listed her on his hot list. If you're not aware of what that is, it's his celebrity crushes. Come on, I shouldn't even have to explain that. List your hot list in the comments and the link to your One Direction fanfiction. And then, December 2nd of 2012, Central Park is gifted the first vision of Taylor and Harry's relationship. They're apparently walking around together and going to the zoo, just like a little wholesome date. Some people were sure that they were together. Other people didn't know what to think of this. Some people were sure that they were not together and we were reading into things too much. The Harry Styles girlies were going absolutely feral at the thought that he might be with anybody other than them. It was a really confusing time. And by the way, feral is definitely the new like crackhead energy word that's being definitely overused. But I know that in this scenario, in this context right here, I am 100% using it correctly. Because these girlies were feral, okay? You know it, you saw it, you might have experienced it. Mind, body, and soul. It was all consuming, I am sure of that. No judgment there. But we all know, feral is the correct term. Look, it looks like I'm walking in the park with them. I would walk in Central Park in these boxers and a Peanuts tee. It would happen, I'm not even kidding. Anyways, 2 days later on December 4th, we see them together again. Supposedly they were doing a karaoke night with the rest of One Direction and some other stars like Emma Roberts. She was mentioned to be there. And they're clearly holding hands. Cute. And then after their karaoke night, which by the way, I love a good karaoke night. Cannot fault them on that. Fantastic taste. And I'm sure a karaoke night with Taylor Swift and Harry Styles is probably immaculate. I'd be pretty embarrassed. Anyways, afterwards at 4 a.m., they are seen once again holding hands, walking to Taylor's hotel together. Yes, indeed, slumber party. And then the next morning, we see them again, both leaving Taylor's hotel, not together this time separately. They have complete careers, guys. They can't spend every moment together. But yeah, they were both leaving her hotel, so there was definitely a slumber party, like I said. And then December 13th of 2012, like a week later, is Taylor's birthday, her 23rd, and she spends it with Harry. And by the way, they were staying at his mother's house too, so to me, that's kind of serious. And supposedly he gave her 23 cupcakes, which is adorable. And they had a whole day together, just hanging out, doing activities, I'm sure. And by the way, this was reported on in such detail, including one account of them seeing a photographer following them, and instead of getting upset, they felt sorry for him and brought him a coffee so he could warm up. Seriously, so much detail is in this account that it truly feels like a fan fiction. It does. That, or it was a extremely romantic and vividly descriptive paparazzi. So maybe the one who got the coffee. Maybe he was so taken aback by their kindness that he instantly fell in love with both of them. Can't blame him for that. And went home and wrote just an amazing account of all of their events of the day in kind of a fan fiction style. Could be, I don't know. Here's some other cinematic paparazzi photos of them from the day that I saw in Google Images from Team Haler. However, I do believe then that they had a very cutesy little day together because they are 100% the main characters. Both of these people are main characters. Anyways, December 20th of 2012, we see Harry and Taylor with Taylor's mom leaving her house. And once again, these outfits really bring me right back to 2012. They really do. I also feel like this is probably a good time to say that a friend of Taylor's was telling the tabloids that she was still having trouble trusting Harry and that she feels like he's looking at every girl and thinking about hooking up with every girl. Which, I gotta say, pretty much every relationship that I've ever been in, I have also felt like that. And they weren't Harry Styles, they weren't famous. Not all of them, some did, but not all of them gave me even a reason to suspect that. And I just did it just for funsies, I guess. So I can't blame her. The next day after that, on December 21st, we see her and Harry in Park City, Utah, and supposedly Justin and Selena were also there, but we did not see them all together. And after that, Taylor was supposed to be in Australia, and the reports were saying that she was hoping that Taylor would come and visit her, and she was kind of planning on flying him out. And then on Christmas, we see Harry with his chin bandaged. Everyone was pretty sure that this injury was from their skiing trip. We didn't really know why. It's not really important now, but I'm going to need you to keep that in your memory because, as you know, if you know anything about Taylor Swift, all the details are important. Every little detail is important, so just keep it in your mind. Also, I have no idea where it is, and if anybody knows where to find this, please let me know. But there's a photo just like this one, but it's Harry, and it's obviously edited. I'm aware of that. I just think it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. It's just so... This one's arguably funnier because it's Jeffree Star, but it's so funny. If you know where I can find that photo, please tell me. I scoured the internet for it. Anyways, on January 1st of 2013, New Year's, we get this video of Harry and Taylor kissing when the ball drops. And as you can probably imagine, people were all over this. I mean, again, it's two hot people kissing. How can we not be all over it? We love to see hot people kiss. We love to see hot people do anything in our culture. And there they are, beautiful as can be. And right after that, they head to the British Virgin Islands together. And we have tons of pictures of them with fans to prove that. So that's cute. Things did not stay cute though, because apparently they had an almighty row, aka a huge fight. That's just the British way of saying that, I guess. And they broke up. January 4th, we see Taylor leaving BVI solo. And we get these classic boat pics. I feel like this is how I would look if you took a photo of me at literally any given time while traveling, but people did feel that she looked extra sad. Honestly, I won't lie, I find these boat pictures to be kind of hilarious. In hindsight, I know at the time it was heartbreaking. We all thought it was heartbreaking. I'm sure it was heartbreaking for them. But like, they're a little bit funny looking back. It's 2012. Everything from 2012 is funny. I wonder if she thinks they're funny. Anyways, this was our first hint that things were not necessarily going well anymore with them. And then January 5th, the next day, Taylor tweets, ... till you put me down. Obviously, that's a line from I Knew You Were Trouble. This is another reason why people think I Knew You Were Trouble was about him, even though some of y'all commented to tell me it's about Jake Gyllenhaal. I think she repurposed it for Harry, though. I think that much is clear. Also, just a classic 2013 pensive, sad tweet. We love them. And 2 days later, on January 7th, reports come out that Taylor and Harry broke up. And just 3 days later, on January 10th, Taylor gets back on Twitter to say, ... back in the studio, I mean, oof. If you're Harry, that's... But if you're the rest of us, yay! Can't wait. A month later, February 10th, is the Grammys, and Taylor performs. And she was singing We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, which I don't think is about Harry either. Probably also about Jake Gyllenhaal. I have no idea. But when the phone call portion of that song comes on, she made the artistic choice to use a British accent. So, and what an iconic moment it was. We all enjoyed it immensely. I love it when they give us little tidbits, little references to their personal life in their music or their public appearances. It brings me just so much joy. Also, thank you to Aurelie on Instagram who sent me this photo. I love it. It's just hilarious. I know that it's edited. It's just, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. So we left off right after the Grammys in 2013. Taylor sings with a British accent in her We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together performance. Haha, very funny. We get the reference. Now, August 22nd, Harry does an interview with Us Weekly and he talks about Taylor. Basically, he was talking about how different it is dating in the public eye, and he also confirmed the relationship because we never really got confirmation on that, and a lot of people have said like, oh, they never confirmed it, they didn't date. We did get confirmation in this interview. He said, we're having this relationship play out on magazine covers. And they also asked him what his reaction to her songs would be if she wrote any about him, and he said, it would be hypocritical for me to say she couldn't write songs because everybody writes songs based on personal experience. I can't say I'd have dated someone less famous to avoid it. And he also said, at least she's a good songwriter. That she is, Harry. I love that response. I love the equality, the understanding, the acknowledgement of her talent. God bless him. Now, 3 days after that, we have the VMAs. And Taylor happened to win Best Female Video for I Knew You Were Trouble. And I know that we've debated whether it's actually about him or not, but again, I think she repurposed it for him at the very least. So she went up on stage for her acceptance speech and we get this beautiful moment.
Who knows exactly who he is, because now I got one of these. Thank you so much.
Thank you to the cameraman for knowing the tea and executing that moment just perfectly. It was amazing. And by the way, there was also an interview afterwards that Harry did, and they did ask him what he thought of that.
And I gotta ask you, Taylor accepting her speech last night, kind of, I guess, joking, messing around with you a little bit, or what?
She's talking about now.
It's all right. She likes a joke, so...
How was it about you?
Yeah, I like a joke as much as the next guy, so it's all good.
But that was not the only moment that we got from them at that VMAs. No. We are at the VMAs, and One Direction is presenting an award, so they go up to the stage. And Taylor was sitting with her bestie, Selena, and it looked like she mouthed to Selena in reference to Harry, mainly, I guess, could have been all of One Direction, but that she mouthed, shut the F up. She'd just rather not hear them speak. Hilarious. We've all been there. Not with cameras on us, though, unfortunately. So, 1989 was not released until October of 2013 by what I saw online, but there is a Rolling Stones interview dated September 8th that she did with them that they talk in depth about this album, and everybody seems to know the entire album and has heard it in depth. So, we are going to analyze 1989 now just for the sake of the story. And we're starting with Out of the Woods, and let's start with the major theme of Out of the Woods, which Taylor described as about the fragility and breakable nature of some relationships. It was a relationship where you never feel like you're standing on solid ground. That kind of feeling brings on excitement, but also extreme anxiety. Analyzing lyrics, she says, looking at it now, last December, we were built to fall apart, then fall back together. So we have some exact timing going on. Thank you very much, Miss Swift. She also says very clearly, your necklace hanging from my neck. And then just a couple lines later, she says, 2 paper airplanes flying. Remember that necklace? His paper airplane necklace? Okay, all the confirmation we need. Now with that confirmation, let's move right along. Remember when you hit the brakes too soon, 20 stitches in a hospital room? Pop quiz time, I asked y'all to remember an injury that Harry got in Park City in 2012. This is why, guys. This is our falsified reference photo. So it feels like, yes, Out of the Woods is about him. Then we also have the song Style on the album, which obviously the line, we never go out of style, makes sense for the title being Style, but also conveniently his last name. Anyways, the song is basically, once again, about not knowing where the relationship is going, but it's exciting and he's hot and all of that. Also, let's just bring up the line, I say I heard that you've been out and about with some other girl. He says, what you heard is true, but I can't stop thinking about you. A little reference to our Emma Osterley incident. And there is speculation about other songs on 1989 being about him, but those are the best ones, in my opinion, that have the most evidence. So those are the ones that we're going over. And I don't think I said it last time, but these photos are not from the current time period we're talking about. It's just photos of them, and we're talking about them. So September 8th of 2014, Taylor does a Rolling Stones interview. And she talks about 1989. She also says, though, that she hasn't dated anybody since Harry. That's fine. We all need a palate cleanser, girl. No worries. When talking about Bad Blood, which I feel like we all know is about Katy Perry, if we want a Katy Perry and Taylor Swift feud video, let me know. But when talking about Bad Blood, she said it was not about a guy, but that she knew people would immediately be going in one direction. And then apparently she goes white, buries her face in her hands, and was laughing and saying, why? Because, you know, Harry's in One Direction. She just made a little goof. She also touched on Out of the Woods, and she said, every day was a struggle. Forget making plans for life. We were just trying to make it to next week. Did she confirm that it was about Harry? No, but she did mention that a snowmobile accident was the inspiration for the hospital stitches line. So I feel like we know what happened in Park City now. And now we are going to enter the land of conspiracy, okay? This is your warning. We're entering the land of conspiracy. These are not all of my views. I am just relaying information. So the interviewer was pretty shocked to find out that they went to a public ER and nobody found out at all at the time. And Taylor said, you know what I found works even better than an NDA? Looking someone in the eye and saying, please don't tell anyone about this. People think they know the whole narrative of my life. I think maybe that line is there to remind people that there are really big things they don't know about. And this led people to start thinking about what might be the biggest possible things in somebody's life that we might not know about. True crime is popular these days, so people's brains went straight to elimination. Let's call it that. Elimination by car crash. Now, if you don't like speculation or analyzing lyrics, this is probably your time to go because it's only going to get more intense from here. And I do not subscribe to this theory personally, but I will give you the most convincing pieces of evidence. And this is all from @Jelastic_Quince84 on Reddit. And I'm going to let you decide for yourself. I know that there will be people that say that speculating on this is wrong. First of all, speculation is a totally natural human thing to do. There's nothing wrong with it. And if nobody speculated or questioned anything, we would not be very far as a society. But more to my point, there is absolutely nothing wrong with an imaginative, creative analysis of art and putting your own meanings into it. There's nothing wrong with that. They put their art into the world for people to relate to, for people to think about critically. That's its purpose, and we're doing that in a fun way, which is, yes, a little bit dark, but that's okay. People do this in literature classes all the time. So like I said, there's a September 2014 article with Rolling Stone where everybody seems to know her album completely already. But I saw online that Out of the Woods was released October 13th of 2014. And of course, we have a million clues that it's about Harry. And then on October 27th, she releases the 1989 album. And she said that this isn't really a boy-centric album because she didn't have like a ton of upsets while she was writing it. So I guess that includes Harry. And to me, that really hints at the essence of their relationship, which is that it was fleeting, it was short-lived, they both knew it. They just thought that they were both hot and mysterious and rich and famous people, and why not give it a shot? And they were having fun, even though it was probably going nowhere, and they both kind of knew that. However, she did manage to give us a few Harry-inspired bops, namely Style, Out of the Woods. Somebody in the comments last time said, I think I Know Places is about him. Maybe. Now, thanks to user JelasticQuince84 on Reddit, I can tell you some of the specific lyrics that people point to when they're theorizing that maybe Taylor and Harry participated in an elimination of somebody together, namely by running somebody down in their car. And they basically said that they feel like Taylor and Harry have been leaving us breadcrumbs in their lyrics for years and years about this. From 1909 specifically, they said that there are multiple references to Harry's bad driving, aka he's not using headlights, he's distracted, he drove them off the road. That's all you had to do is stay if you think that that's about him. However, in my opinion, in 1989 at least, a lot of the songs feel a lot more like an allusion to a relationship than a metaphor for vehicular elimination, let's just say. I don't know which words I can and can't say, so elimination. And again, Galactic_Quince84 on Reddit gave us some lines to consider. I think that their best argument was in the song I Know Places with like lines like, it's a scene and we're out here in plain sight, but even then, I'm not super convinced. Out of the Woods could also point to that incident, I suppose, because they have lines like, are we in the clear yet? The night we couldn't quite forget, and of course, remember when you hit the brakes too soon. But I'm still on the snowmobile side on that one. And the final song in 1989 that they pointed to that I felt had like some evidence at least was the song Clean. And specifically the line, you're still all over me like a wine-stained dress I can't wear anymore. And a couple others also were put down as evidence for this car crash theory. That song and that line in particular, again, I don't really see car crash. I more see the breakup metaphor, maybe even addiction, maybe even SA. Again, this is analysis of art, so these are my lyrical interpretations. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't super see the car crash in it. And on New Year's of 2015, Taylor releases the music video for Out of the Woods. And during the lines about December, about the necklace, she is indeed in a snowy wonderland, not unlike Park City, Utah. And she also rips her necklace off and throws it off a cliff. May 12th of 2017, Harry releases his first solo album, self-titled, of course. Two Ghosts is on it, and of course we get the line, same lips red, same eyes blue, same white shirt, a couple more tattoos. I mean, I feel like blue eyes and red lipstick is practically trademarked by Taylor. If you tell me blue eyes, red lipstick, my brain will automatically put the blonde hair and the bangs there, and it's Taylor. Our Reddit detective, Galactic_Queensay84, also thinks that Sign of the Time references Taylor, though, specifically the car crash theory. And they point to lyrics like, welcome to the final show, as in like a crime, like somebody's gone. And also, we gotta get away from here, which you would need to get away from there. Well, you should not leave the scene. No, don't leave the scene. Don't do it. Now, Galactic_Queensay84 on Reddit also connected Ever Since New York, Two Ghosts, and Fine Line to the car crash theory as well. But for me, the evidence just wasn't strong enough. November 10th of 2017, Taylor releases the song Getaway Car. And this is the last song linked to the car crash theory. I assume that you can all guess why. And Galactic_Queensay84 points specifically to these lyrics. The worst of crimes, it was the great escape, the prison break, and but you weren't thinking and I was just drinking. Do I agree with this? Not really. I think that this song is all an illusion and a metaphor for somebody who is in a toxic relationship, so they use cheating as an excuse to leave that relationship, and then they end up cheating or leaving the person that they're having an affair with. Which then fits perfectly with the line, don't pretend it's such a mystery, think about the place that you first met me, because if you get into a relationship with a person via them leaving the person that they're with to be with you, or via them cheating on the person that they're with to be with you, maybe you shouldn't be that surprised if that's how they end up leaving you as well. However, if you do want to see the car crash theory in all of its glory, because I only really took a very small portion to show y'all the best arguments, you can look up u/Galactic_Queensay84's PowerPoint on the Taylor theory, and you'll find it pretty quickly, and I'll put the name on the screen. And now we get to March 14th of 2021, the Grammys. Harry won Best Pop Solo Performance for Watermelon Sugar, and he did beat out Taylor for that. She was nominated with Cardigan. But people did notice that she was the first to stand up and applaud him when he won. Very gracious lady. And we also saw them chat, but we couldn't make out the words. So lip readers to the rescue, and they thought that they were saying something like, good to see you, congrats on the album, just general pleasantries. And I'm so glad that we get to leave this series on a good note. Anyways, that is the end. I hope that y'all enjoyed it. Comment what you want to see next, as always.